For the grand finale, we play as Queen Birdo. Oh my god, a Roblox Tycoon. This is called Koopa's Tycoon Town. I love a Roblox Tycoon. Nope. You're all by here. I'm third. Girl, fuck landlords. I can't. All by here. I don't know, guys. This map kind of looks like poop. This looks like poop. This looks like crap. Please, it does actually sus. He's a 10, but he's a landlord. And then he's a 1. What the fuck is he doing as a landlord? Boot. Shut up, Lee. I can't stop thinking about Aura's runway presentation when she was like stop, quit it. Her acting skills. Oh, she's acting. I don't have 11 coins. Does anyone else get irrationally angry for being unable to enter? Yeah. Well, not really, because I don't play the game anymore, but yeah. I can't. I saw a TikTok of it, and I was just like, let me giggle. Misery, welcome in. How are you doing? I'm chilling. I'm having a good time. We out here. Cammy, what did you say? Oh my goodness, please. Where is the class? I hope we do. I hope we get a good gag at the Rumble, John. I really hope we do. Like, Triple H is terrible at booking. Like, I swear to God, if he doesn't book any of the legends, I swear to God. I better see at least Trish, Lita. I better see somebody. Kelly, Melina, somebody. Like, he better book it well, or I'm gonna get crazy. Mela needs to return, yes. I hope she does. I love Mela so much. If she had a meet and greet, I would go see her. Can you get out of my way, Toadette? We're on the same team, girl. Good job, guys. I actually just got, I actually really like watching week to week. It gives you something to look forward to. That's what, like, Anybody that watches it, it's just like a good conversation starter to watch wrestling every week because it's something to talk about because it's current. I don't know. It's good to like be like, oh yeah, we watch it week to week. So it's I like it. I don't know. Oh, fuck you, Toad. Oh, fuck this guy. Oh, get wrecked. Me standing here like, haha. Berto said, I did not see anything. What just happened? Oh! Oh my god, yay! Oh, hey, girl. Are you licensed to drive, sir? What is happening? Idiot. Oh my god, it's always a 1v3, girl. I agree. Like I said, I've said this before, I don't understand why they stopped making Smash characters. They could have made that game just go on forever. Wait, this is Miku hair. I'm Miku! Hi, Diamond Dave. Max, send me a picture. Take a picture of like me on the screen and then you with the blue glasses on. What would your ultimate be if you were a Smash character? Probably suffocating someone with my thighs. How do you have Trish and Lita at the first Rumble and not have them fight each other? I don't know. Weird booking. Okay. Let me go back to eating my chips. Unpopular opinion, Logan Paul is a great athlete. I know he's a shit person, but in the ring, he's pretty incredible. The way he did a split, like, and did like a backflip last time he was in the ring, I was like, damn, girl. There he is. Oh, I get 3 stars from this shit? Logan Paul, Marshall. How he's good in the ring. I could see Sammy winning it, actually. If it's gonna hype up him ending Roman. Also, The Rock's theme song being called Lightning, and the flyers are lightning. Girl, he's probably just saying that. Hopefully him and Naomi are lying. That they're not returning for the Rumble. Guys, I'm gonna be in the crowd for the men's Royal Rumble and then hear all the music for the men coming out and not know who they are. I would be like, crickets. Oh, you bitch. Okay. I made it pretty far. Like, I'm not gonna hear the commentators. What am I gonna do in the stadium when it's pitch black? For the pitch black match. Okay, please don't spoil, like, actually. Like, why would you even say that? Please. Appreciate the lurk, but please. Oh, we haven't done this one. I have to punch. LA Knight is hot. I would. I have to time it. Oh, what's up, bitch? So I can contribute? Well, maybe then watch WWE and actually listen to the conversations that I have every fucking stream so you can contribute to the conversations. Six new dolls. Sorry, that was bitchy of me, but like, I don't know. I don't like being like put down for talking about WWE. It makes me really upset. Cause like I'll tweet about it and get not like, I won't get any interaction or whatever on it. So I feel like I can't talk about it. Same with the streams. Like I feel like I can't talk about it because nobody wants to talk about it. Yeah, he was, I saw this on the TL the other day about, LA Knight. He was actually, so if you know, like, WWE from back in the day, you guys know Paul Bearer. Paul Bearer used to be the manager for Undertaker, and he's, like, a big staple in the Undertaker's career. Know your history. So, he actually, LA Knight, he was a manager. He had Paul Bearer be a manager for him, which is a cute piece of intel. It does make me happy. I'm passionate about it. I've grown used to people talking about it because of you and there's a bunch of Total Diva episodes. Yeah, just go watch them. That's how you just know what we're talking about. If you like reality TV and drama, you can just watch Total Divas. This is like the 700th time I've said this on the stream. That's how Marshall got into it. That's how House Music got into it. I was showing them clips from like the drama of WWE. And then they started watching weekly. It's really not that hard to get into it. Yeah, I agree, John. That's literally how I feel about it. That's why I get so passionate and like aggy about it, because like for so many years, like I would feel like ashamed about like talking about wrestling because everybody's like, oh my god, it's fake, oh my god, it's for nerds, oh my god, it's like silly, it's ridiculous. I'm like, it's so fierce. You are, and I hope Mickey comes back for the Rumble again. She was fierce last year. Yeah, I just talked about it a couple of minutes ago. I said Marshall shouldn't get the watch me part of his tattoo, but he doesn't listen to me. So before you joined, I was talking about it. We were talking about tattoos. I told everybody that you would send your tattoo. So send it in the Discord so they can see it. Get in the car, Natty. I just got out of rehab. Please, just... Why are you crying? Natty, I just got out of rehab, please. I just can't take it. When we get Rosa Mendez return. Whatever you say, Marshall. It does look really good. Okay. Like her title run? I'm not sure. Excuse me. Oh, I forgot I can heckle her. I think people wanted, like, actually to see Ronda as the champ, but now then we got her as the champ and people were like... I don't know why the crowd is so behind Ronda. It's very weird to me. Fuck, not this one, girl. As I just got so defensive about my passions like Fire Emblem and WWE because so many people are so against them for absolutely no reason. I'm like, please, just let me enjoy my hyperfixations. I beg. My controller right now? Oh, that's a good triangle. Girl. Oh, everybody tied for the win except me. Okay, all right. If I wait, I actually want to roll a 1. Okay. I would have taken anything but a 2, but it's fine. A 1, a 3, whatever. I need to get 1. I do. I don't know if I would get rid of anybody in the Mario universe. John, you're sick. You're dumb. I actually really like that game, but that swinging parkour is never happening again. Real, that's real. Where's Maddie Cheap Cheap? Okay, that seemed a little unfair. Look at Cheap Cheap. Oh my god. Oh. Did you see how fast Boo did that? He's actually in Mario Party 9 and 10 safety. Okay. Why is everybody commenting on my YouTube videos about me doing a Viola cosplay? Did I promise that I was gonna do one? I never in my life would say that. Right. Like recently I'll like get a YouTube comment and it's like, so about that Viola cosplay, I'm like, what about it? Like what? I don't gotta. What are you implying? Like, I want a 1. I would like to roll a 1. Okay. Girl! No, literally, someone would have to pay a lot of money for me to do a Viola cosplay. There's no way. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No! We haven't done this one. Oh, Jesus. This is gonna be a jerking off mini game. I can't. Oh, it's not. I want some snacks. I know that's right. Oh, okay, new record. What region would you pick for a Legends Arceus game? I don't know. Blue hair. Hi, MSK. Hi, Lib. How are you doing? Happy to see you. What's going on? Okay, that's a big number. Can you calm down? You're so real, house music. What? When we get a Lana return? I'll get up. I'll move. I love her. I have my Lana Day shirt. Nice. I feel like she might just be there for Rumble, though. I feel like Liv would get in trouble if she posted that. When somebody posts them with Naomi, and they're like, wait a second, hold on. Spoiler. When they had the storyline of them being in love, lesbian lovers, that was real. Why does Toad have 7 stars? Does anyone want to? Okay. We love this one. How come I gave 10 coins and everybody else gave 3 and that's fine? Like, I feel like that's a little bit not fair. I want 100. Where's 100? I'll take a 50. I'll take a 50. I'll take it times 2. 50. Oh. I thought you could get 6 cards. I lost. Oh, I was close. Toadette got 320. Oops! Oh well. Yeah, I rage quit. I threw it. Hi, Dad. Curtis is my dad. Do you fucking mind? What is his issue? Get off my back. Why is everybody targeting me? Stop. They're out to get me. You missed the space you wanted to land on, you dummy. Look at this fucking loser. I think she's having... A lot of the international stars are having visa issues. I think we're getting duo drop return, which is exciting. This is literally a Roblox Tycoon. Yeah, they are. That's why you haven't seen Mako. That's why you haven't seen Duo. That's why you haven't seen Tyler Bate, I guess. Just sorted his out. Yeah. A lot of the... that's why Blair Davenport as well. And they're also having an issue with how NXT in the UK is getting settled. So they retired NXT UK, but they're gonna have a resurgence of it. Like, it's gonna be like an international UK. It's gonna be like an international NXT. I don't know. Something's happening with it. Or something. So some of the people internationally are waiting for what they're gonna do with it and returning to their homes and doing indies, or they're just flying and living in the States. They kind of have to choose. But like, that's why Kyrie left. Kyrie left because she was living in the States and like she couldn't see her family because she's from, I think she's from Japan. That's why she left WWE, because like she was so far away from her husband and her family. Which, like, rightfully so, she should like go home and like work there. Like, I'm glad she has she can be with her family and wrestle now. She's the New Japan Pro Wrestling Women's Champion. Birdo's head. Oh, she went to town, girl. Hi, Temp. Yeah, it is sad. I'm glad she's thriving now, though. No, she knows what's up. Last 5 turns. Okay. I don't think it was Naya. I think it was in Becky and Charlotte's match or someone. Who did they fight in that match? They should enter a sweepstake for one lucky fan to enter the Rumble, just to see how they do. Like how Penetration got onto season 6. 5. She was the online fan vote. She was the winner of the online voting contest. So was Darian Lake. Oh, and y'all know I love Darian Lake. Me and her are besties. Definitely doesn't have me blocked on Twitter. Watch your mouth house music. Alexis Michelle is coming for the crown. Hashtag Subway Fish. That was so insane. I'm Subway Tadpole. Alexis Michelle's. What? I don't even know. Okay, is that necessary? The 57 coins, girl. Hi, BKB. Well, now you have no coins, so you look ridiculous. Gagged him so quick. I'm in second. We need 1 star. I don't know where we can get it. Not Donkey Kong just rolling up in a Ferrari. I've recently started watching the older seasons, and some of them do not stand up. All Stars 2, like, not that, like, this is what she would say nowadays, but Detox says the T word in one of the challenges, and they air it! I'm like, oh my god! I was like, oh girl, I do not remember this. Yes! She says it in the... Yeah, they did say it a lot back then. Not that, like, I'm... Yeah. It's the trash-talking trash receptacle, and she calls herself a trash-talking trans vet. You finished the word. I was like, oh my god, I was shocked. I mean, I'm not gonna, like... I wouldn't be weird and send her hate. Like, that's so weird. But, like, it's just, like, it does not stand the test of time. You know what I mean? Well, Lib, they really let everything slide back. Yeah, Shangela says it a lot in season 3 Untucked. I remember watching it. Delta also says something very racist in the season 3 Untucked. It's bad. And it's not even in the American version. It's in the Australian uncut version. You have to watch it. But they don't even let you watch some of the older seasons of Untucked anywhere. On Paramount, on Hulu, on Amazon. Season 2 to 5 or 6 of Untucked is not listed anywhere because of how problematic it is, and they're trying to erase it from history. Yeah, well, Top Model, they said the T word a lot. A lot. Whatever her name is. What's her name? What's her name? Paulina Poroskova says it a lot. The season with Isis King, one of the most iconic trans models nowadays, they call her the T word and they air it. What else? Who is it? Not Janet Jackson. Janice Dickinson. She says the T word a lot in the first 4 seasons of the show. I can think of a specific time. I remember Miss J calls Dominique on season 10 a T word because of how her face is shaped. And Tyra Banks goes, yeah, you do look like a man. I'm like, oh my god, what is your problem, guys? That's the same season. Dominique's storyline in season 10 was literally because they kept calling her the T word. Like, that is horrible. Like, watch season 10 of Top Model. That's Dominique's entire storyline. It's so horrible. Have you seen this season of Survivor? Ashley Mazzaro was on, but then she got sick, so she had to get evacuated. So sad. Yeah, the stuff they got away with on Top Model is actually insane. When Tyra made the models do blackface, like, oh my god. Oh yes, I remember when it was airing, I watched it on a box TV and I was so excited for her to compete. Because like, obviously I was a WWE fan. And you know. I know, obviously this conversation is something like not being aired today, but like, if you grew up on that box TV life and you watched reality TV back in the day, you know how problematic it was. Like, I remember watching this Top Model stuff. I remember watching even Drag Race on one of my older TVs, how problematic it was. Like, it was just a different time. It's not acceptable, but it definitely was like a product of its era, of how the mainstream audience watched it. And like the general consumer of America was just disgustingly problematic. Fuck you, boo. I'm glad we have the internet to like, you know, have everybody act accordingly, you know? Did you guys see on Twitter recently a certain pop star saying they want to play the Hogwarts game? Is that real or fake? She deleted it, but it rhymes with Pim Metris. I give up. No, real. I was like, oh, Jesus. Yeah, I hope it's fake. I don't know. That's why I'm asking y'all. I saw like something on TikTok that was like, the swimming in Hogwarts legacy heart eyes emoji. I was like, is it that serious? Another day. What is this happening space do? Yeah, the hate Mistress is getting is annoying because Mistress, Isabel Brooks, is so iconic, in my opinion. What is that? Can I time this? Oh! That's not fair! That's not fair! Well, damn. I agree. I love her humor too, it's so good. Yeah, I will say, I don't know. Like, I don't want to spiral in this conversation because I don't want to, like, I don't know. The whole Hogwarts Legacy conversation, like, I'm exhausted with it. It's really exhausting. I just don't think the game is gonna last further than the 2 weeks of its post-release. So I don't think it's that much of a, like, why even fight it? Like, you guys are gonna get tired of it after a week. Like, it's not that, like, just don't play it. Also, people that are like, oh yeah, I want to play it, like, I understand, like, totally, like, I think the whole conversation right now is that, okay, let's pause from the stream and have a serious conversation. I think the conversation right now is not even that people are identifying that J.K. Rowling is a TERF and very transphobic. I think everybody has identified that problem. I think the problem that people are mistakenly having an issue with, I don't understand why people are trying to fight on this. Like, everybody is trying to fight the fight that, oh, if I buy the game, I'm not transphobic, I'm not supporting JK, this, that, and that. Like, they're trying to be like, I want to play the game for the game, that's what it is, I don't support JK. Like, that's the conversation that everybody's trying to have and fight over, which I don't understand. Like, 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 it's just exhausting to even, like, try to identify that conversation. Like, yes, cool, you want to play Hogwarts for whatever you want to play it as, I guess, but you're creating an unsafe environment for people that are trans, because then if the game gets any traction, the game is going to evolve into a sequel, and then she's going to keep getting a platform. I know she has a platform, but like, she's now inserting herself into the gaming world where we thought we could be safe, and now she has, and the company itself, like, there's been developers that have been very, like, Nazi, like, comments, which are not great. And then the entire plot is that you're fighting goblins, and the goblins are a stereotype of Jewish people. That's how the book is written. Yeah, and the storyline in the game is about owning slaves. So I think the conversation ends there. Like, it's just like a lot of people are trying to, like, a lot of people that aren't trans are trying to get into trans people's business. And I understand, like, obviously, if you are trans and you want to play Hogwarts Legacy, then be my guest. And also, if you're not trans and you want to play Hogwarts Legacy, be my guest. But let it be known that I will not be really fond of you. I will kind of see a different side of you. I will kind of understand that's kind of where you are, because the conversation ends with it being, there's slavery, anti-Semitism, and transphobia circulating that game, and then the game is going to, if the game gets traction, then that game is going to get a sequel, and the developers that do follow the ideals are going to be still in our circle of the gaming world. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think you're directly transphobic for buying the game, but you are creating an environment for developers in our safe space, the gaming world, to keep creating, which I don't think they should. That's why we don't want you to buy the game. We don't want you to buy the game because we think you're being transphobic. I don't think you're outright transphobic for buying the game. I don't want, the point of not buying the game is I don't want the gaming world to be a cesspool of, like, transphobia, like xenophobia, racism, and, like, I know it already exists, but the game's plot and the book the game is written after is literally just problematic. Like, at the end of the day, the book is just problematic as much as you want to enjoy it. Like, I was a Harry Potter fan too. Like, I watched it for the first time a couple years ago. Like, it just happens. Like, it's a good series, but I think it ends with trans people being affected by violence by JK. Like, I think that's where the conversation stops. Like, you shouldn't keep the conversation going being like, I support trans people. Like, it's not you to negotiate that. I think it needs to end there. That's where the issue, like, people trying to fight it, it's like, you're showing your true colors. Yeah, I agree. I will agree. I was on the boat of, like, maybe I will be a trans person that wants to, I will say I was on that boat. Like, maybe I want to be a trans person to play the game and highlight it being a trans person and kind of shoving it in JK's face, or, like, kind of just showing it for people so we don't have to buy it. But I think it's not worth it. It's creating a space that's inappropriate. It's creating a space that shouldn't be even existent. Yeah, she had another tweet today. It's exhausting. She is so exhausting. It's every day with her. I saw someone reply to her tweet and they were like, girl, you need to buy a PS5 or something because you need to get a hobby because this is exhausting. I was like, real. Yeah, I mean, like, again, I can't, like, physically stop you from buying the game, but I will tell you that my stream, my community, my friends, and even my family for that matter, because my family is very trans, I will not be having those conversations or even playing the game. It's not worth it. I also think it's another thing under, like, consumerism in our societies. Like, yeah, all of the, like, yes, all of the companies we do support are problematic. Like, look at me, for example. Like, I know I'm a walking hypocrite. Like, I obviously play Overwatch and the developers are very problematic. But, I don't even know how to even start that conversation. I guess that, like, it's like a weird conversation to have, I guess. But at least I acknowledge it. I'm not like, oh, I'm blah, 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 you know? I just don't see it being like something we're gonna play after February. It's gonna come out and we're gonna forget about it. I know I said that about Elden Ring, but I really just don't see it being something that's gonna last longer than February. I don't. I'll be shocked if it lasts until Game Awards at the end of the year, which it'll probably be nominated, but we do not vote for it. I agree, Donnie. Oh, I have to I thought I was at the top of the... Oh, girl. Yeah, I mean, real. I mean, that's just how new games are nowadays. Nobody plays it unless it's like... Unless it's literally like games like... Oh, fuck. Unless it's literally games like Dead by Daylight or Overwatch or Fortnite. Things that consistently update. There's not really a story game that people play over and over again nowadays. I don't think Hogwarts Legacy will like you can quote, like you can clip this. I don't think we'll hear radio silence from the game from the end of February till the Game Awards. I know it for sure. I agree, Curtis. I agree. I also think the conversation is like, okay, I honestly, here's a hot take. I honestly, if the developer, let's hypothetically speaking, if JK created Mario, for instance, and said the same thing she's saying nowadays, I don't think I would enjoy Mario or play Mario as much as I love the Mario series as I did as a kid. But that's just how I see it. it's like nothing to do with like consumerism. Like it does kind of, I guess. It's a weird conversation to have, but like I genuinely like, she is so violent and so avidly like like companies are shitty and they're very shitty, and I unfortunately work sometimes with very shitty companies. But JK has been so avidly transphobic, misogynistic, like nasty online, like more than anything I've seen before in my entire life. Like, she is consistently berating trans people. She is consistently pushing the agenda of like anti-Semitism. She's pushing, like always pushing for these weird ideals she has in her books. Like, if she were to create something else and I loved it so much, I don't think I would consume it like these people do. Like my example, like if she created Mario, I don't think I would play Mario like I do nowadays, guys. Like, I'm so serious. Like, I know I wouldn't. I don't know. Like, it wouldn't, I'm that strong in my opinion, and that she is so, yeah. That's horrible, Kay. That's horrible. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, she's consistently like violently transphobic, like violently online, like chronically online, like being gross. I will say it's probably like a case-by-case thing, but that's just how I see it. I've said my piece. Like Curtis said, I've said my piece. There's not a lot more we can discuss. Obviously, obviously we do need to have these conversations, especially, you know, being part of the LGBTQIA+ community. But I would not like to have these conversations every fucking week when she gets on Twitter and creates a hate mob. It's like every week with her. She's exhausting. I also don't think pirating the game is the answer, but that's just me. I just don't play it. There's so many other games out there. No, literally. Play Gary's mod and get the Hogwarts map and invite some friends to play Gary's mod with you. Like, I'm dead ass. Make your own, like, thing. Mbaz, thank you for gifting a sub to Cammy. Did you know, actually, speaking of Gary's mod, JK got, she saw that there were Gary's mod Hogwarts roleplay servers, and she went on to the Gary's mod servers and got it shut down and made sure everything Hogwarts on Gary's mod got shut down because she wasn't making money off of it. I'm not even lying to you guys. Oh, yes. It went to court and everything. They were like, delete it. So there were like servers that like you could pay for, like, it was like a whole thing, but like, you know, There are thousands of games. No, literally though, like actually. The way I just rolled my eyes. No, literally. When my friend told me, I was shocked because he would play on the roleplay servers. And, you know, she had her piece with it. Oh, we're good. Never mind. Did I donate enough money? Oh, he's not gonna get it. Thank God. That would have made me lose the game. Oh my God, he's gonna win. Oh no, he's not. We're good. There is an Avatar game for the GameCube. I used to play it as a kid. We could stream it. That would be fun. Even though I haven't seen the show at all. Just cracked my jaw. That hurt. That's coming out soon. I thought it was gonna be in like May. Is Silent Hill coming out in March? You see the Avatar movie that's coming out in 2025? I was like, why even announce it? Not the 3-year release window. Like, why won't you let it cook in the oven for a second? Yes, I thought that was it. You're right, Top. I said Toph again because we were just talking about Avatar. I do that sometimes. I accidentally mispronounce your name. But yeah, Resident Evil in whatever month. No, but I know how to pronounce it. Trust. I was just streaming the other day. Did you enjoy Ocarina of Time? Why have we played this literally 7 times, girl? I can't. Great. I'm not good at this one because they can bait you. Okay, they carry me. We won. Did we win the board? I think I have 8 stars, so I think that confirms the win. Okay, if Toad gets 3 bonus stars or Boo, we lose. So let's see. Okay, let's see. It's been nice to have some variety sprinkled in. I've been feeling like playing other things lately, so I'm trying to hold myself over until the new release is coming. Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of the opposite. Well, I'm flip side of the coin. I'm very excited for the new things coming, but I also just really need to get into retro streaming. Like, you know me more than anybody. Like, that's where I thrive. Like, I love playing retro stuff and always have throughout the entire time I've been a streamer, and I haven't been able to do that lately, so I'm trying to get back into that. Oh my god, they're talking a lot. Candy Star? That's not me. Give it to Toadette. Well, that's the worst thing that could have happened. Now they both have 7, I have 8. Green? I don't think that's me. Oh! Okay, then we won. We won. Shopping Star, that's not me. Toad got second. Birdo first, Toad, Boo, then Toadette. And that's how we eat. And that's how we finish Mario Party 8 off and say goodbye to this iconic classique. Now we've finished 3 Mario Parties. What comes next? I'm not sure. Maybe Mario Party DS? Meow meow. Wow. Goodbye, Big Top. I know this is an iconic Mario Party. I'm sad that we're gonna let it go. We'll miss you. I shed a tear. Can we go to the? I want to go to the title screen. You can like touch the characters and make them make noises. Oh! I just killed Mario. Goodbye. I'm not that upset. It's literally fine. We move. I'm gonna keep my Wii on, actually. Well, I should probably turn it off so the batteries don't die. Okay. So now we swap to a new game that was released yesterday by Bethesda.